Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have Greg Crossan joining us here today. He's the founder and CEO of Greg Crossan Coaching and Consultant, LLC. By the way, from North Reading, Massachusetts is where he hails, but he's helping people all over with his coaching and training, and excited to talk to him here today. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you.
Oh, please introduce yourself to our listeners if you don't mind.
Sure. So I am Greg Crossan. I spent years in a corporate tax role, was burnt out and stressed out, and so I retired from tax and decided that I wanted to coach people and help them instead of big corporations. I had used coaches in the past in my corporate career, and it was a really powerful experience for me. So when I thought about kind of phase 2 of my career, I knew this is what I wanted to do.
Amazing. Well, we got to find you. Where can we get you? On the website? We need your phone number, social media pages, if you don't mind sharing with us before we start our conversation. That'd be great.
Sure. So the best place to find me is at www.gregcrossan.com. My phone number is 339-927-39. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and so those are really the primary places that you can find me, as well as my Google business profile.
Beautiful. All right. Before we get into the Energy of Performance, Energy Leadership Index Assessment, I want to find out more about you. Where did you grow up? I read about your parents owning a small business, so I know you learned a lot from them. Would you mind sharing a little bit of your background and life experience with us?
Sure. Yeah. So I grew up in rural Vermont, central Vermont, and my parents owned a handful of beauty salons that they operated, and so I got to see firsthand kind of what a real small business looked like, of running it and the challenges and also the benefits of being an entrepreneur. It fascinated me, and I kind of went for a safer route when I went to college because I wanted to get a good job and go make money and everything. But there was always this itch in the back of my head about wanting to try entrepreneurship. And so finally, when I knew that my corporate job was no longer for me, the timing was just perfect from a personal perspective. And so I dove in, and I'm trying to build out this coaching business.
Amazing. Well, here you are helping so many. And before we get to, working in the current field you do, what did you start to do? And tell us a little bit about what happened in the corporate world.
Well, when I started, I was an accounting major. I kind of went through the typical, public accounting, transition to corporate roles. But I quickly got into tax because I found that more interesting. And so as I went through my corporate career, you start making some decent money. You get a comfortable lifestyle, and it's hard to leave when you're raising a family. But the timing just worked out where my kids are older, and so I started this business to really help people reduce stress and to find more joy and fulfillment in their lives.
Tell me, how old are the kids? I got to hear about your family life, too, if you don't mind.
Sure. I have a daughter who's a sophomore in college and a son who just is finishing up his junior year in high school.
Amazing. Amazing. All right. Well, this is exciting. I have a 7 and 9-year-old. Mine are a little younger, but wow, I know. I get it. Work, family, life balance, all of that. And by the way, you mentioned in your former career you worked with an executive coach. So you actually have firsthand experience working with a coach. Not all coaches do. Could you share a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So what was amazing was, this coach really kind of held up a mirror and allowed me to see blind spots that I didn't have, right? And so with her help in creating this awareness of how I was showing up, I could then start to choose to show up differently. And as a result, I really became more effective at managing my people as well as influencing colleagues.
And here you are today. So let's break it down a little bit. Greg Crossan, don't forget, guys and gals, go to GregCrossan.com. Our transition and executive coach joining us here, helping you to find your balance, lead with confidence, and transform your life and career. So you can also visit the website and grab a free copy of From Stress to Success, the ultimate transition guide for overwhelmed professionals. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So again, I lived that stress end for many, many years. And so when I decided to go into coaching, that's really what I wanted to help people with. I wanted to help people manage their stress better, and to find ways to kind of perform at their peak without having that drain of kind of what I call catabolic energy, which is
Yeah.
basically stress.
Got it. It is stress. Basically, a lot of it, right? But this is where you strive, and this is the work that you're doing. So let's break it down, if you don't mind. Talk about energy of performance. I know that's something that you want to start off with today.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, if you think about it, right, everything in life can be viewed as a performance. There are obvious examples like giving a presentation or speaking with a prospective client. And then there's not so obvious ones, like having a difficult conversation with a family member or capitalizing on a teaching moment with your child. These big and small moments happen every day, and often our performance is based on the default tendencies that are a result of our past life experiences and our perceptions of ourselves and the world. And so, most of the time, these things happen unconsciously, and so I like to really ask people, what would it be like if you could master these performances?
Yeah.
Every client pitch, every difficult discussion mastered to optimize for your success. And, the real key to this mastery is to understand core energy and how it impacts everything. Oftentimes people hear about the importance of building strength, right? And so, this often refers to your physical strength.
Mm-hmm.
Well, core energy is the energy at the core of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. And it relates to how you see yourself, how you see others, and how you see the world. A person's core energy is where their energy is focused at any given time, and it has a tremendous influence on their performances. And when it comes to high performance and the ability to make change, most of us are simply unaware of why we perform well one day and kind of poorly the next.
Yeah.
Rarely, if ever, do our skills and talents change from day to day or even moment to moment. It's our energy that is constantly changing. So sure, you can build your skills and talents over time, but in the moment, at the time of a major decision or negotiation or difficult conversation, what's really more important in that moment, your skills and talent, or the energy that you bring to that situation, right? Your energy is how your skills and talents will get used, and so energy is the key driver in what matters most.
Now, also, I know I was reading a little bit more of your notes, the Energy Leadership Index Assessment. Is that something that you wanted to elaborate on?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Energy Leadership Index Assessment is based on concepts that I learned in my coach training school that was at the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, which was founded by Bruce D. Schneider. And so this assessment is about 70 questions.
Okay.
You take it online. It takes about 20 minutes. And what it does is it shows you kind of your energetic profile, and I'll talk about that in 1 second.
Okay.
And it shows you your energetic profile on a good day when things are going well for you, and it also shows your energetic stress reaction when you're under stress. Now, both of these charts are based on the 7 levels of energy, which are basically 7 different ways that people can show up or view the world and the situations around them. And each level is like having a different pair of glasses to look at something with, right? And so this assessment is really powerful in creating that initial awareness of kind of how you're showing up, which is, to start with your default tendencies that are based on past experiences I talked about. And so you get to see how you're showing up. You get to see what happens when you drop into a stress reaction, and we can have some really rich conversations about why you are dropping down into those stress reactions. There are 6 influences of our energy, and those influencers can either help or hurt our stress levels. And so we can then dive in and take a look at what's causing you to drop into that stress, and we can really kind of explore what you want to do about it or what you're able to change so you can get back out of that stress reaction and into that normal energetic profile that is really kind of you on a good day. And this assessment is just a really powerful tool for creating some initial awareness and to really start the coaching conversation and the coaching relationship with a lot of topics to work on.
Well, thank you for that. What else did you want to make sure we share for today?
Yeah, so a little bit more around kind of energy in general, right? So there are two types of energy. There's anabolic and there's catabolic. So anabolic energy is a building up, constructive, kind of positive force. When your body experiences that energy, it releases anabolic hormones like dopamine and endorphins. And so, when you're experiencing anabolic energy, you are able to tap into your creativity and mission more easily. You're able to solve problems more effectively because you have a broader view of kind of all the alternatives that are available to you. On the other hand, catabolic energy is a draining and destructive energy that is often associated with stress. When your body experiences catabolic energy, it releases catabolic chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline, which these things actually eat away at your cells. And so catabolic energy may be useful in the short term, but when used on a long-term basis, it really imparts mental and physical tolls on you that can really be damaging. And so that's why we want to get out of that stress reaction as quickly as we can.
Got it. Well, let's do this. We have to take a quick commercial break. Would you mind sharing of all the ways we can contact you? Website, phone number, social media pages, anything that's important to you?
Yeah. So I just published a new article on my website this morning around 6 ways to manage stress. And so for anybody that might be interested, please check it out. It really talks about these influencers of our energy that I was just discussing.
All right. Perfect. Sounds good. Stay tuned, everyone. We're going to take that quick break, and when we return, we're going to talk more to Greg about the work he's doing again as a coach, as a consultant, and excited to have you here. And don't forget, he says it takes consistent daily action, and you must trust the process, but he's here to help, and we're going to find out some more and even hear some testimonials. We'll let you know more about, the clients that you're helping and to hear some of those stories. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Just want to remind you all, you really do hold that potential to create the life and career of your choosing. And that's why Greg Crossan's joining us here. He's our executive and transition coach. And his goal is to really help you unlock it all with warmth, respect, and a curious mind. And excited to hear more about his, career, his journey in tax, accounting, and finance, and all the invaluable experiences and lessons that he's learned to really help you, move forward in life. So again, we're back with him today. Greg, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you. Good to be back.
All right, Greg. Well, during the break, I got to peruse more through your website about clearly knowing your who. I love all this. I also want to hear some client stories. So would you mind sharing some of these testimonials about the people you've helped?
Yeah, absolutely. So, there was one client who really was extremely successful in the corporate world. But she had come from very limited means, single mother household.
Okay.
Mom held 3 jobs, just trying to pay the bills and put food on the table. And so she had developed this of never having enough. And, flash forward 25 years, and she is, at the top of her profession. She's driving expensive cars with fancy condos, and, everybody in her life, including her financial advisor, was telling her she had more money than she needed to worry about, like she had plenty. Yet she always felt like she could never take a break from work and that she had to work, because she had this belief that, this fear from her childhood about not having enough. And so she just had this fear of scarcity. And, in working with her, we were able to, one, create some awareness about where this feeling of scarcity came from. And secondly, I'm trained to kind of release those types of limiting beliefs and
Okay.
assumptions that we make. And so, through my work with her, she was able to actually embrace the idea of abundance and kind of reduce that stress around not having enough. As a result, she started working less. She started going to the gym. She lost 20 pounds and into fitness so much that she's becoming a certified fitness trainer on the side just because she loves it. And she's just spending more time with family and friends, and her whole life is just much, much more balanced. And she's, as she would describe, just happier because she doesn't have this constant pressure
Yeah.
about needing more. And so that was a really powerful client experience that I was able to produce, which I was very, very happy with.
As you should. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And we still have 8 minutes, 7 minutes left in the show. What else do you want to make sure we cover for today?
Yeah, I mean, I think that when people are trying to change or grow, right? It's your body likes to stay with the familiar, and so when you're trying to grow or change in whatever capacity that is, it's going to feel uncomfortable, and you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? And when it comes to like starting a business or doing something like that, you can't let the fear or that uncomfort prevent you from taking action. And so, I gave a ton of presentations in my corporate life, but it was all kind of technical tax data and relaying information for, people to make decisions. As I embarked on my coaching career, I wanted to become a good storyteller. And so that's a whole different kind of speaking that I just didn't have experience in. I joined Toastmasters last year, and when I gave my first speech at Toastmasters, I was simply terrified. But I did it. And I'm telling you this story because just a few weeks ago, I gave my first keynote address at a tax conference on how to reduce stress and increase mental wellness in the profession. And so, by making yourself uncomfortable and not letting fear hold you back, you can actually, accomplish your dreams, and they can happen faster than you might think.
And where was this, by the way?
So this keynote address was in Norwood, Massachusetts, for the New England chapter of the Tax Executive Institute.
Aw, fantastic. Exciting. I love hearing these stories. All right. What else did you want to make sure we are aware of for today?
Yeah, I mean, for those people that are working in corporate America, right? There's a lot of catabolic energy in corporate America. I call it corporate catabolism because so much of it is around, so much of the environment is around conflict and winning at all costs and just managing that stress and that performance every single day. And so, one of the other things I can do is I can come in and talk with teams. I can even do my ELI assessment at a group level. And so this allows organizations to adopt these ideas around energy leadership and how to reduce stress for an entire department. And when you get people talking about, the 7 levels of energy and kind of how they can recognize stress in themselves and their team members, and then they can, positively kind of work with each other to create a more productive environment where communication is better, where people are more empathetic, dare I say, and the whole team can come together. And what ends up happening is activity not only increases, so the company's happy, but people are happier and they have more joy and fulfillment in working in that group because it's a supportive group instead of a competitive, cutthroat group.
Got it. Yep. Well, also, the work that you're doing, clearly, by the way, just to point out, you are located in Massachusetts, correct?
I am, but
But
a lot of my coaching is done online now, thanks to the pandemic. So I consider my market to be basically the United States.
got it. So yeah, it's amazing they're able to work with so many this way. Things have really opened up, right? Since the
Right.
pandemic, we've got to take a look at some of the, the good that came out of it. And by the way, I got to ask, you were a radio DJ in college. Is that true?
I was a radio DJ in college.
I love this
Yeah.
game. I love to downhill ski in the winter on the website. I love when you find out stuff. Your happy place is spending time with your family and friends at your lake house in Vermont. And you have a beautiful family, by the way. Could you tell me a little more
Thank
about
you.
them?
Yeah, I've been married to my wonderful wife for 24 years this year. She is my rock for sure, and you know we've raised two kids who are the second one's almost going to be out of the house at college sooner than I would probably like. But yeah, we just like to be outdoors. We like to go hiking and downhill skiing, and my wife and I enjoy going to wine tastings, and because of wine, I ended up finding a love of cooking. So now when I have the time, I love to cook and pair foods with wines. And so that is just, you know, a little bit more kind of behind the scenes of what I do to kind of recharge my batteries, which is really spending time with family and friends. And I love to share a good meal and a nice bottle of wine with them as well.
Oh, I see that glass of white there on the screen. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you love traveling. Hold on. You actually went to Oktoberfest in Munich?
I did. And I even bought the leather drinking pants.
I love it. Oh, my goodness. See, life is so precious, right? It really is. It's amazing you get
Yep.
to do what you love, spend time with the people you love, and this is part of, you know, the coaching experience. You want people to, you know, live the same life and aspire, you know, to what they want to do. You know, just let me share this from the very first interaction. This is from DM, an international tax director. Said Greg demonstrated a genuine passion for assisting professionals like myself. His extensive knowledge of day-to-day tax operations have provided me with invaluable insights and practical strategies I am looking for. He takes time to understand my specific challenges and aspirations, tailoring his guidance to suit my unique circumstances. Whether I needed assistance in advancing my career, overcoming professional obstacles, or improving my skills, he consistently provided practical solutions and actionable steps. What I find particularly commendable about Greg is his willingness to share his own experiences with me. This has given me more confidence to navigate challenging scenarios with tact and professionalism. I highly recommend Greg to any tax professional seeking guidance and career advancement. His deep industry knowledge, personalized approach, and unwavering support have made an immense impact on me. I love hearing it from the mouth of DM. Thank you. So let me ask you this. If someone's interested in working with you, do you offer an initial consultation? And if so, how do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So right on my website, there's a form where you can contact me, and you can schedule a free 1-hour discovery call where we can talk about kind of where you are and what the challenges you might be facing, and kind of how I might be able to help.
Perfect. All right. One more time, gregcrossan.com, GregCrossan.com. And looking forward to speaking with you again. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a great day. And to all of our listeners, stay tuned. We'll be right back.